This video of the unknown. What is it? Is it real? And what is it doing there?
Now they're speaking out, saying there are UFOs in U.S. airspace and they need to be taken seriously.
A family in Highland, Michigan believes their house is actually haunted and thinks something is harming their little girl.
They're unidentified in U.S. airspace.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
I'm Todd Bates. I've been investigating the paranormal for years, yet still have no definite answers. Join me on this mysterious journey as we discuss all things paranormal, right down to the little gnomes. Why do millions experience these mysterious phenomenon, yet we have no proof? Welcome to Haunted Voices Radio, where I try and gather the pieces that may one day form yet another puzzle. And a good evening, one and all. Welcome, Haunted Voices Live, right here, WLTK-DB.com. That's where you need to go. You can watch it through our Twitch stream right there, or you can watch us live through Facebook, Twitter, all under the handle WLTK-DB. Get over there. As you can see, Nicole is on a hiatus. She's taking a break until January. She's got a lot of projects in the works and things, so wish her the best. She has all of our prayers and everything for, a great time with what she's doing, and she'll be back here in January, so hang tight. But I've got just a few announcements here before we get our amazing guest. I've been waiting for Les to come on here for a long time. The new book is out, folks. It is out. Paperback is available. Paperback and Kindle version. You can get that on Amazon. Hardback is coming soon. That's going to be here in probably another week and a half or so. We'll have the hardback there for you. But I appreciate everybody's support with this because I'm no author. Okay, I did my best with this, and I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with the editor too, who made it readable for all you fine folks. But it was a great ride. Hopefully you enjoy it. The Haunted Voice, folks. It's available on Amazon. And hi, Meg. Hi, how you doing, Linda? Great to see you guys. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is we have a couple slots open. Those of you that are interested in broadcasting on the station, having a show on the station, we do that as well. We are a hosting service. We have 2 slots available. They are Friday slots. One is in the morning. One is a primetime slot at night at 8 p.m. So those are 2 hot slots that are open. And if you're interested in one of those slots, you can contact me through the website, WLTK-DB.com, or just send me a private message on one of the social medias out there, and we'll get you lined up. Now, without further ado here, we're going to get our guest, Les Velez. Now, he is co-founder of the organization of Paranormal Understanding and Support, or OPUS, as we're going to call it this evening. And of course, you can find that at opusnetwork.org. Amazing individual. Now, we're going to be talking about some abductions. We're going to be talking about how to get help. If you are one of these people out there that are an experiencer, how to get help out there. What are some of the lead things that are there for you to get some help? But Larry's going to shed some light on a few things, Les is. And welcome to the show, Les. It's great to have you.
Hey, how are you, Todd? Good to be here.
I'm doing great. And I've been chomping at the bits to talk to you. When did all this start? My goodness, I'm hearing 11 years old. This started with you, the UFO.
Oh, yeah. Well, that got me on this path, I guess, if you will. When I was 11 years old, as you mentioned, I saw this object and it scared the crap out of me. And, ran in a house, and by the time I got my father to come out, it was gone. And he said, "Oh, it's probably a beacon of light reflecting off a cloud." And well, I didn't buy that, and went to the library soon thereafter, and started picking up some books on UFOs. And George Adamski was the writer back in the late '50s when this all occurred, and so his stuff was pretty amazing. Talking about the Venusians and everything else. So I was really hooked for a while, and then it kind of just drifted out of my mind. Other things got more important, like girls, and went off to college and became a member of the ROTC. Went into the Army, became a field artillery officer, got married, and had a couple of kids. And in 1985, moved out to San Jose, California. And I picked up the paper one day, and the San Jose Mercury News, and this article about Stanton Freeman was
Oh,
coming to San Jose City College to talk about UFOs and a government cover-up. And of course, Stanton Freeman, for probably all your listeners, pretty well known nuclear physicist who recently passed away. Unfortunately, he was quite a character, and he really did a great job. Carrying the flag for the UFO community. Um, and so I went to this lecture expecting maybe a handful of people, but the auditorium was packed. And as I'm walking out, there's a table out there, and this organization called MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, had
mhm.
a table there, and they were talking about their uh, journal that they publish on a monthly basis. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to get that journal, which talks about UFO cases predominantly. And after a while, that wasn't enough for me. And so they had a field investigator training course.
Oh,
Uh, and so I took that and became a field investigator. And that's when things really got interesting, because almost without exception, the cases that I got involved with were not only sightings, but people were telling me that they had contact with non-human intelligences. And so, my window of believability in the beginning was rather narrow.
sure.
And, but after a while, listening to these stories and the commonalities in these stories, I really started to expand that window, and to really understand that something is happening to these people. And the big question is, what is it? And so, you know, after a while, these people would ask me, did I know of other people having, similar experiences? And I said, yes, I do. And I began to facilitate a support group in San Jose.
Fantastic.
And That's when I heard so many stories, from these people. And so my knowledge base began to expand significantly as far as the types of things that were happening to these people and the outcome of these experiences. And so one day, I had a newspaper reporter from the Monterey Coast Weekly interview me for what I was doing.
Mhm.
And I guess he had contacted MUFON headquarters, and they told the headquarters had told them to contact me. And so he did a write up on me. And also in this article was another woman, and with her type of background in the paranormal. And she contacted me afterwards, and she said, I'd really like to try to understand what's going on with my brain when I'm in contact with these off-earthly entities. And I said to myself, well, how could I possibly help this person? And then she said she was working with an emergency room doctor down in Carmel. And that piqued my interest, because when she said doctor, I had a doctor friend,
Mhm.
Dr. Eugene Lipson, who was very interested in connecting with other doctors that were interested in this phenomena. And so I called him up and I said, Gene, I says, you want to take a trip and go see this lady and see what she's all about. I mean, at first I wasn't that excited, but I think now that she's working with another doctor, uh, let's see what's going on. So anyway, we went down there and we walked into her house, and on the wall was a picture of her standing on the back of a rather large boat, vessel, if you will. And I asked her, I said, so what's this all about? And she says, well, I was helping these treasure hunters. And I said, where was this? She said, in the Caribbean. And I said, well, so how were you helping them? And she says, well, I was in contact with the captain of the galleon that had gone down. So that started the afternoon off with that. And we came to find out that she was very psychic. And it happened after a near-death experience that she had had. And so all these types of things, telepathic communication came into play. And so we came away from that afternoon, Gene and I, and we said, how can we possibly help people? And that's when OPUS was hatched. We said, well, we got to put, an organization together. And so the Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support became a nonprofit recognized by the IRS in 1994. So we've been doing this thing for many years. And so the experiences that occurred with these people are just phenomenal.
And it is the organization. I was looking at that the past few days. Well done. Now,
Thank you.
if I was, and what I tried to do, Les, is put myself in a John Q. Public situation where I had an encounter. I'm afraid of being ridiculed. I'm afraid of being judged by telling even my family. It made the website made it very welcoming, very easy. I could just simply click right there, and there's help.
You
There's
hit
plenty of
the
educational material on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. One of the things that we certainly wanted to make sure that we did was to make it easy for people to connect with us. And as you said, most people are very afraid of coming out with their stories in fear of being ridiculed. They can't talk to family members, they can't talk to clergy, they can't talk to coworkers, and so where do they turn? And a lot of these people have gone to psychologists or psychiatrists because they feel they're going crazy, and then they find out that they're not crazy. So then what? What do you do then? And so uh, we've basically put together a really good group of people to address this situation. And we help people in two ways, or actually now three ways. Recently, we added a third level of help. The first level is basically an online, totally confidential support group.
Very
And
nice.
we have well over 300 people that are communicating with one another 24/7 from around the world. I mean, we get people. I've had people from Iran, believe it or not,
That's
contact us,
impressive.
and so this is a worldwide phenomenon. This is not just happening here in the United States, um, and the numbers are phenomenal. I think that the Roper organization back in '92 came out with a report, and I think the numbers were like 4 to 6 million at that time, people having those types of experiences. But it's move forward in time, it's certainly a lot more, and it's a worldwide. Their organization only did it here in the United States, that poll. So And my latest theory on all of this is the fact that we've all had an experience, whether we consciously remember it or not, in some way, shape, or form. And I'll give you an example of something personally that occurred. One of the support group meetings, a person said to me, "I've seen you before." And I said, "Really? Where? A UFO conference or a grocery store?" And they said, "No, I saw you on board the craft." I said, "Really?" And I kind of
Whoa.
blew I kind of blew it off. And so it was like a year and a half later that a totally different person in the support group said, "I've seen you before." And I said, "Where? At a UFO conference? Grocery store?" "No, no, no. You were sitting on a bench naked on board this craft and you were freaking out. And they told me to go over to you to calm you down." So at that point, I decided, okay, I'm going to go get regressed. And I had 3 separate regressions, none of which came up with anything along those lines, but I had multiple past lives, many different types of experiences, uh, things of that nature that I mean, one was a samurai warrior, one was a Greek soldier,
Wow.
one was a restaurant owner. I mean, it was all over the place, and
Nice variety.
yeah, a very very nice variety, and uh, so I just never found, as I said, anything like this person was saying, but they were so vehement about it. So it was probably another year later that somebody said to me, because I was talking to them about it, and they said, "Well, maybe this person tuned in to a past life that where you were actually abducted,"
Okay.
and that's a distinct possibility. So, yeah, once you start going down this rabbit hole, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. And what I want to do, I want to take a quick break here. When I come back, I want to talk about a couple things, things that are going around, the buzz going around about disclosure.
Sure.
Talk about some of the cases that have gone through there. If you can talk about some of those, share a few
Sure.
stories and things. But all of that coming up. More with less, folks. Stay tuned. More Haunted Voices on the way. We'll be right back.
Certified psychic medium Stephanie Lynn creates an authentic connection between the living and the spirit world. Stephanie knows she is here to help heal, educate, and provide validation that there is more after death, and allows herself to be a conduit and work as a team with spirit to pass on messages from their world to ours. Stephanie Lynn also works as a spiritual life coach to help you achieve, create, and manifest your best self and life. Looking for help communicating with an animal? Searching for a past life regression therapist? Or dealing with a paranormal experience? Stephanie Lynn is here to help. For a list of full services, visit her on Facebook under Stephanie Lynn Spirit Sensitive. That's Stephanie Lynn Spirit Sensitive.
"17 minutes past the hour. Welcome back, all you fine folks. You're tuned in to Haunted Voices live right here on WLTK-DB.com. Go over there and check out the website. While you're on your way there, take a derail. Check out OPUSnetwork.org. That is an amazing, amazing website. We're talking about that with its co-founder, Les Velez, who is joining us here tonight. Welcome back, Les. Great to have
Hey,
you.
thanks, Todd. Good to be here. And I just wanted to follow up on the thing that I started to mention about what we provide people.
Please do.
So we did mention the online support group, totally confidential. But the other things that we do is that we also have a referral network of mental health practitioners and hypnotherapists
Really?
that people can utilize if they so desire. And we're constantly in the process of looking for more mental health practitioners that are familiar with the topic, and that's an issue right in and of itself. That there's a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists that are not familiar with this topic, and so we're also trying to educate that community about this phenomenon, because the big question is, so what is it? Is it
Mhm.
extraterrestrial in nature? Is it interdimensional in nature? Is it time travelers? Is it our military? Or what I believe is probably all the above, and probably
Be.
even some more things that we just don't
No
understand.
kidding.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing, the most recent thing that we've set up is what we call the EST, the Experiencer Support Team. These are people that have a lot of experience working with, you know, experiencers, and they don't have a clinical a background or anything like that, but they have enough time, working with people like that, that they can be a real help, and then also to do triage, if you will, with these people to say, hey, what is it that you're really looking for? Do you need a therapist? Do you need a hypnotherapist? And things of that nature, and then just somebody to listen to their story, because they don't have people that they can tell this story to, and I think that's very important, getting it off your chest, so to speak.
It's amazing. It's amazing you have this not only this outlet for people, but that it's clinically backed, and
Yeah,
you have people there to help. Because let's face it, Les, when you're regressing someone, it's not going to be a pretty picture sometimes. I'm sure, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And you have a lot of debunkers talking about the fact that you don't want to go to a hypnotherapist because they could be putting things into people's heads about their experiences, and that's true. It's But you have to make sure that these people are certified, and that they're not going to be doing things like that, because people can get a non-certified hypnosis type certificate, and put the shingle out, and then and think that they can help people. Well, that could be dangerous, and so
Yeah.
we're very concerned about that. We go through a procedure where we check their references, we check their certificates, and to make sure that they're legit.
That's good. That is even more ironclad. The organization is amazing. And like I said, I was putting myself as a playing devil's advocate as somebody that had that experience and thinking, okay, if I first came here, how easy would this be? And again, simple, but there's a lot out there about the existence itself, Les. I mean, we'll just
Mhm.
kind of cut to the chase here and talk about the disclosure itself. Some people aren't heeding any warnings. Some people, it's not bothering them at all. They're moving on with other worldly issues. What do you have to say about disclosure? And is the government releasing anything at all?
Well, I think they're doing it by drips and drabs, if you will. Um, yeah, they're coming out with various things, maybe because their arms have been twisted uh, to do it, like with Lou Elizondo, and releasing those videos, and so it's caused them to really have to step up to the plate. So it was gratifying that they actually put something together like that, but of course that first report that came out was really basically nothing, and they only went back to 2004, and this thing has been going on since biblical times, or probably eons. Uh, so, but as far as having data that they could look at and parse, uh, that they need to go back, and they already have stuff like that. They've been keeping records for a long time, whether they want to come forward with that or not, but they certainly have had a lot of information.
Yeah.
You know, just like everything's in the archives
I think
somewhere.
I think it's left a paper trail. I think it's
Yeah,
left one hell of a paper trail,
yeah,
this thing. There's no use in covering up anything anymore. Let's just get used to the fact that we're not alone, and just get out there and help these poor people that have been abducted, that have had horrible experiences. Some have had great experiences, I hear. Others
yeah,
have
and
horrible.
that's an interesting point too, Todd. That we did uh, a survey. This goes back to like 2007. That was actually funded by MUFON. It was in collaboration with OPUS, and where we took 71 people that felt that they had been abducted and 51 people as a control group. And basically, nobody had a psychopathology. Uh, and the majority of the people, like 70%, had positive experiences.
Hmm.
And so, only that other 25 or 30% had negative experiences and wanted them to stop. Um, so it's interesting, and also it's a process. The initial stage for everybody is traumatic. There's no way around it. You have a gray show up in your bedroom or in a field or wherever you are. Uh, it's gonna shake you up, and
Yeah.
but after a while, when these things continue to happen, um, you become used to it. You come to accept it. And then when it stops, it's like the Stockholm syndrome that people say, "What happened? Why aren't they coming for me anymore?" So it's a
Wow.
real interesting mixed bag. Um, and you know, are all the grays bad, or all the reptilians bad, or all the praying mantises bad, or the Nordics? It's a mixed bag there too. We have, just like we have here on Earth, we got good guys and bad guys.
Right.
Same things going on up there,
You
even
you'd think it would have to
within the
be.
races.
Yeah, they would have to be governed by something, I'm sure. I
Hmm.
mean, something, some kind of hierarchy, but it's just it's amazing that now people can come forward. Back in the day, I mean, this was unheard of. You wouldn't talk about this, but now they can come forward, and you're hearing more and more accounts. You're hearing more pilots. You're hearing more military pilots, even
Oh yeah.
coming forth about what they've seen. Even Buzz Aldrin.
Hmm. Yeah. One of the things that's really come about in recent time is the fact that more and more of these experiencers are being uh, told, if you will, to get out there and tell their story. And a lot of them are writing their own books about their experiences. And in my book, which came out last year, The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact, I have 25 stories from people in the support group
Mm,
uh, that, and one of the people, Adam Burns, has written his own book recently, and so they're being compelled to do that, and so that's an interesting fact in and of itself, that we're kind of getting the story out there slowly but surely,
right.
grassroots way. And I think that's probably the best way to do it, because it's
I would
it's
agree.
non-threatening. It's non-threatening, and people can pick up the book, or they can put it down, and then they can, you know, digest what's in there or not. And so it's I think probably a very good way to approach this topic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot to take. Something like, I mean, if this, I've never been regressed,
Hmm.
and if something like this were to happen to me, one of the one of the things that just keeps coming to my mind is when we are abducted, do our bodies go or do our bodies stay? That is because I
It's
know, you hear
yeah.
the stories less of them doing procedures and things on bodies, but then you hear other just outlandish stories that are just so extraterrestrial. They're
It's a
beyond
combination.
comprehension.
Yeah, it's a combination of things. You have people that are astrally traveling. Their energy is being taken out of their bodies, and that's what's moving around in various dimensions. But you have people that are physically taken, absolutely physically taken, and they come back with all kinds of issues, implants, marks on their body, you know, uh, various types of, radiation things that
Mhm.
cause illnesses. Yeah, so there's a plethora of physical ailments that people have, and then of course psychological afterwards.
Absolutely. And that's where Opus can help. You have the
Yep.
clinics, you have the clientele that can do all of the above after this regression, because that would be horrible. That would be horrible without.
Yeah, and just to clarify, to be clear, we have a referral network. We don't do Opus does not do the sessions with these people. We refer them to mental health practitioners or hypnotherapists, and then the client works with that therapist. So we back out
Okay.
of that portion of it.
Good. You
Uh,
have a
yeah,
network though.
yeah, we have the network. And we also do Zoom meetings, monthly Zoom meetings with the people in the support group, where we have open discussions, and that has been a real positive uh, uh, thing for people, because then now you can see each other, you can
Yeah.
hear each other, and uh, that has proven to be really helpful as well.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind, could you share a couple cases with us, some things that have
Sure.
happened, and then we'll take some questions.
One of the cases, one of them that's in the book, is a couple were picnicking in a state park north of Santa Cruz, and as they were coming out, it was getting to be dusk. They noticed this light over the ocean, and this light got bigger and bigger and bigger until it was over their head, and it was a triangular craft about the size of a small Learjet,
Hmm.
and it was totally silent. Um, and this thing went into this canyon behind them, and just sat there. And they noticed another light over the ocean, and same thing. It got bigger and bigger and bigger until it was over their head. And again, it was another triangular craft. And the first one, they felt they were looking at it. The second one, they felt it was looking at them, and they became frightened, and they backed up underneath a big old pine tree. And I had gone up there with them to investigate this case, and they noticed another light over the ocean. And this happened like a total of 7 times.
Wow.
Seven craft sitting in this canyon. They're all sitting like this, doing that butterfly effect, one next to each other. And then they all went on their side like this, the whole group all
All
lined
in
up.
unison.
And then they went like around a corner, but there was no corner to go around. It was just like they disappeared. And so at that point, they started to leave the park, and this park is on really on a side of a hill, a rather large hill, and even during the day, this particular area is tough to navigate because it's very wooded, it's rocky, and so they had this feeling though that they were almost on automatic pilot, like they were drifting down out of there.
Hmm.
And when they got down to where their car was, that was the last thing they remembered until they showed up at a restaurant that was like only 5 to 10 minutes away, but it was 3 hours had passed. They had
Wow.
this 3 hours of missing time. So they came to one of the support group meetings, and they had developed a rash after this event. And they went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, it's not poison oak, which there's plenty of in this area, or poison ivy. And he said, I'm not sure what it is. And so they decided to go, it was a husband and wife deal. So they went to the husband's doctor, and then they went to the wife's doctor, because the first one didn't know what was going on. And he said, well, maybe this is something internal that's causing this rash. But again, I don't recognize it. So they took pictures of it, and they brought it to the support group meeting, and they showed it around to the people in the group, and almost without exception, they all said that they had a similar rash at one time. And one of the people in the group said, I think I know what that's from. And so we said, okay, what do you think it's from? And it's a reaction to the fluid that they dip you in when they bring you on board the craft to sanitize you, which is kind of interesting.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And that they all shared that. So that's something in common. And,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. All these people coming forth like that,
Yeah.
hearing these stories, more people should be believing in this. More people should be understanding this. More people should be grasping this. But why aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's difficult to grasp, for a person that gets up in the morning, has breakfast, goes to work, comes home at night, has dinner, watch a little TV, goes to bed, does the same routine day after day. They're just not tuned into this type of thing. They don't have time to reflect on that. They got to worry about putting, dinner on the table, or making sure they have a job, and can pay their bills, etc. But there is a lot of strange things going on out there. And I mean, it's not just UFO related. I mean, it's spiritual awakening, Kundalini awakening, poltergeist activity. One of the more recent studies that OPUS has put together, it's called the Omega-4 study, where we actually went out to the mental health community and got their feedback. And the one thing that they talk about mostly was the number one entity that people came into contact with were the Greys. But then it was orbs. And then it was interdimensionals. And then the last one was poltergeist activity.
Wow. Interesting. That is so interesting. You have all of those facets involved with that.
Oh, yeah. It's so, again, broad brush. I mean, there's so much going on. And all these types of things in the paranormal are connected in some way, shape, or form. And we just don't fully understand this process.
Oh, you're right.
And
Crystal has a question here. She says, I'm curious, are there any similarities between people abducted, or are they all types of people?
well, in other words, is she saying that is there a particular type of person that gets abducted? I just clarify that. I'm not sure.
She said here they absolutely are connected. And it's the people abducted. Whoop. She said yes to what you were saying there.
Okay. Well, again, there's military connections, indigenous tribe people. This is generational. If a person comes to us, 9 times out of 10, their parents or their grandparents have had an abduction. They seem to be following perhaps experiments that they've done.
Okay.
on people, messing around with DNA, etc.
Now, what are some things you would say to people watching this that may know someone that was an experiencer? How would you guide them into letting the other individual know about Opus for help?
Well, I think the simplest thing is, as you mentioned, the website. Just give those people the website, and that'll tell the story, because our mission is on there. We go through as much as we feel is important at this point to put out there to people. And so, and as you said, it's pretty easy to make that connection on the site. So I think that's basically the easiest thing to do. Is say, look, if you've got something going on, go to this website and click that support button.
Absolutely. My goodness, Les. Absolutely amazing talking to you. You're just a wealth of information. There's so many great things that we discussed. I feel relieved. I know a lot of other people listening feel relieved as well, knowing that there's some kind of help out there. If we had more time, we could get into so many different facets of the alien paranormal world.
Right.
But I want you to give everybody, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Give everybody your information, your website, about your book, where they can find
Sure.
everything about you, Les.
Okay, great. Thank you, Todd.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that very much. Well, first of all, we're here to help people. And that organization is the Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support, better known as OPUS. If you can find us on Facebook, you have to write out the whole word, Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support. And then we have a page and a group there. Our website is opusnetwork.org. And as I mentioned earlier, we have an online support group, confidential support group. We have a referral network of mental health practitioners and hypnotherapists. We also have a triage group called the E.R.C, the Experiencer Support Team, which you can get one of the members to talk to you if you would like, and they're really knowledgeable. And we have, if you do join the support group, we have monthly Zoom meetings where you can tell your story, ask questions, and interface with other experiencers. And I wrote this book a year ago called The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact, which talks about probably all facets of the phenomena, whether it's you're talking about, implants, talking about hybrids, talking about military involvement, talking about the government involvement. So there's a lot of background information in there that I think you would find interesting. And then also there's stories from 25 of the members of the support group. And some of those stories are pretty amazing. And again, I think you'd find it very interesting. And so if tell your friends, tell people that we're out there to help. And so we look forward to having you contact us and get you the kind of help you're looking for.
Thank you very much, Les. I look forward to having you back, my friend. I would love to have you back on the show and get into some more detail and everything about some of these cases, and really focus on that.
Sure, absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. And everybody, we're going to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up. More haunted voices on the way. Thank you, Les.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ellie Weisensel's psychic medium is a medical intuitive that specializes as a body code practitioner. As an energy healer, Ellie offers additional services that allow her modalities to be intertwined with energetic healing. Within your subconscious lies information that knows everything about you and why you deal with specific conditions. The subconscious can be considered the blueprint to your entire body. With Ellie working physically with your subconscious mind, we detect what negative emotions are trapped and where they are stored within the body that is causing you your emotional and physical pain. This work is designed to remove imbalances and correct them energetically, getting to the root cause of why you have your condition, to help balance your body so it may heal itself. Your body is infinitely wise and wants to be in balance. The body code is not only gentle for humans, but it is also a gentle process to help animals. For more information, contact Ellie Weisensell at the website below.
Nearing the top of the hour here, folks. You're tuned into Haunted Voices Live. I'm your host, Todd Bates. We were absolutely blessed to have Les Velez on the show. And if you guys missed any part of it, we've got it taken care of. It's all going to be recorded, captured right there on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/WLTK-DB. You can go to our Podbean channel, WLTK-DB. Podbean.com. And that's what I wanted to take a few minutes with is first let you know some guests that are coming up next week. We've got author Jeff Davis, author historian. We're going to be talking with Jeff about the Alaskan killer Bigfoot. There may be some cast members coming in there as well. Be a cool show. But I want to let you guys know the website's no longer holding the archives. We are housing those on site on Podbean. And it works a lot easier for you folks. You seem to like their players better. Everything seems to work better with Podbean. So we connected everything with that area. So that with that place, you can subscribe to us on Apple, Google Play, all the other medium outlets. So search for Haunted Voices there because we do have a private channel now. It is hauntedvoices.podbean.com. Podbean.com, Voices Radio, something like that. Just search Haunted Voices Radio and Podbean. You'll find us, or search us on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, places like that. You'll find the show throughout. And those of us just joining us, you're not seeing Nicole here. She is on vacation, on a break until January. She's going to free up some projects and things. She's got a lot going on, but she's going to come back in January. And to let you know of a new show coming up next month, we're going to be having a new show with Caden and Alyssa Mask. It's going to be called Twisted Ascensions. That's going to be airing Friday nights at 6. So that's definitely going to be a great show to watch. And that's going to tell the story of a married couple in the paranormal, their investigations, what they go through. It's going to be great stuff. And also the book is ready for paperback. Paperback is available. If you guys want a signed copy, you can go to my website, toddmichaelbates.com, and you can get a signed copy there. It'll take a little longer, but don't worry, I'll get it to you. Matter of fact, all of you that just ordered the paperback from the website, those will be here November 16th, those copies, and I'll get those shipped out to you as soon as they get in here. And then the hardback's going to be coming here in the next week and a half or so. And then I'll be shipping all those out to everybody that ordered the hardbacks, that pre-ordered the hardback. So thank you so much for everybody with their tremendous support on that, on the book, on the creation of it, and understanding that it was something I did do alone. I did not have a lot of help with a lot of people. I didn't tell people. I didn't even tell my family. No. It just had to come out. So buy it, enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it. And next week, again, we've got Jeff Davis. We've got some great guests coming up here through December. Station Break's going to be on December 19th, that week of December 19th. But we'll be back. Don't worry. We're just going to take a little week break to do some backups and things. So next week, author Jeff Davis, be sure and tune in for that. And if you missed the show, You can catch it over at Podbean, or you can catch it on YouTube or Facebook. Just search WLTK-DB or Haunted Voices. From all of us here at Haunted Voices and WLTK-DB, you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for stopping by.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.